Welcome to you, my name's Dale and this is Dale's Addiction. Today I'm bringing you some handbag content. I was thinking I didn't do a wish list this year and we're in June now, and for what it's worth, probably would have been a fairly uneventful wish list. I still have it in my notes in my phone. It's fair to say nothing that was on it I have purchased, and there's nothing that I would add to it at the moment. In this video, I wanted to recap the last 6 luxury handbags I have purchased. I'm just looking, my hair hardly fits in the frame here. I've been working from home today and it is so cold. Queenslanders represent if it gets less than 20 degrees Celsius. Are you freezing? I'm freezing. Anyway, where was I going? My last 6 luxury handbags, and I guess having a look at how my journey has been over the past, I'm going to say 9 months. So I've counted back to September 2024 through to June 2025. There's 6 handbag purchases in that time. That is not many for me. I have been known to do a lot more than that in the same period of time. So let's have a look at them and go for a little trip down memory lane and give you like a little, I don't know, review, first impression, what I love about them, what I don't love about them, and yeah, just handbag chat, just general handbag chat, because there's bloody nothing to watch on YouTube. If you're like me, you want something to watch, so hopefully this is something to watch. Starting with the purchase I made in September last year from Una. Una has the Instagram handle VintageLover83. Una is a huge fan of the Fendi Baguette, the vintage Fendi Baguette in particular. And she happens to live in the land of fabulous, authentic, pre-loved and vintage pieces, that land being Japan. And so she had this piece as a part of her collection, and I was trying to decide earlier in 2024 which between this and another piece I wanted, because I couldn't have both. Well, she ended up dropping the price because she often does a liquidation sale because she's got her eye on something and she wants the cash. So she did that on this occasion and offered me this Astrakhan, look it up if you're not familiar. It's very, very special baguette that is part of Fendi's 25th re-edition of the Baguette collection that was released back in 2022. This is made up of a bazillion pieces of, actually, let me see, I think there's a product card in here. Have I taken it out? I think I have taken it out. Every single colour you see on here is a different piece. So they have all been immaculately stitched together. This is like Fendi of old in the body of Fendi of today. There is so much work in this. This was the most expensive of that particular re-edition collection. Inside it has this most beautiful suede interior. It also has this stunning like chartreuse kind of silk lining. It's absolutely gorgeous, immaculate condition. I picked it up for about $2,500 or a little bit under $1,000, maybe 2,200 Australian dollars. This bag I wore straight away. I took it to Melbourne. It has cooler weather there. I took it to Melbourne. I took it to Paris and I loved wearing it in Paris. I wore it in the summer here. This is unexpectedly, despite being a little woolly bag, it's unexpectedly very wearable because of all the colours. They really, they complement the tones in my wardrobe. And I just find when I'm missing a textural element to an outfit, this bag, I pick it up way more than I ever thought that I would. It's quite a surprise. I would never have spent the $9,500 on it brand new, but I was so glad to pick it up pre-loved and in immaculate condition from somebody that I absolutely trust. Zero regrets, not going anywhere. Yeah, just a bag that is so wearable in a way that I never thought it would be. Very unique, not everybody's taste, and that's okay. The next piece I purchased in Paris. I had looked at it in person in my local boutique. I looked at the price and I said, there is no way I am paying Australian dollars for that when in a few months' time I will be going to Paris and the recommended retail price will be less and I will get a VAT refund. So if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. The lovely Corinne, and I will link her channel down below, hooked me up with her sales associate on the Champs-Elysees, and I sent him through a list of things I was interested in, one of which being this beautiful piece. But he didn't tell me he had it until the actual day that I turned up for my appointment. This is the Speedy Trunk 20. It is a work of art. Now, if you saw the unboxing video, you will understand why. Trunk makers at Louis Vuitton, and I know because I've been to their trunk making workshop in Agnières, thank you Meredith, they don't do curves. So this lacine on the edge here, this would have been a nightmare for a trunk maker to either craft it in this particular way or, you know, make it bend and not pucker and look, you know, bad. I'm trying to think of a good word and I can't think of one. This beautiful hardware and the lining up of the monogram is what we expect from all of our Louis Vuitton pieces. All of these elements are consistent with that of a trunk. The only thing it doesn't have that a trunk would have is the wooden kind of cross members that are there for bracing and protecting the canvas when they're stacked. It has the gorgeous S-lock, and I was lucky enough to, well, I wasn't lucky, I pushed really hard actually to have my luggage stamp hot stamped with the Paris hot stamp, which is an Eiffel Tower with Louis Vuitton luggage. This piece I have worn, like, it is not the easiest piece to wear. So you open up the S-lock, you open up both sides. You do need two hands for this and you don't want to be in a hurry. And then it has a magnetized closure. You open it up and it is just stunning. It's quilted inside. It is a work of art. I'm actually thinking of doing an Amelia Rose. I hope she comes back soon, and using it as decor in my office, because my office has a bit more of a British colonial theme and a Louis Vuitton trunk would fit in absolutely perfectly. I just don't want it to get too much light on it because I want this patina to be nice and even, which it has been here in my closet. I've worn this piece 2 or 3 times out and about, and I'll put those photographs over here so you can see. I think some pieces you're content to buy and adore, and some are very, very wearable. If I had not have fractured my shoulder in January, I would have worn this a lot more, I think, over the summer. But when you are one arm down, it really makes it a challenging bag to carry. Albeit, I did carry it when Meredith and Mr. Lux came to Brisbane in January, I think it was. Yeah, it must have been just before my surgery. I took it out and Connor was making fun of me. I will link their channels below, that I bought the most impractical bag when one only has access to one arm for lunch. But it was lunch, so, you know, I only needed my phone. It was fine. I'm really glad that I purchased this bag in Paris. It was meant to be. I got those savings. I really don't think I would have purchased it if I didn't have the option to pick it up overseas. I think this is a piece that I will treasure for many, many years because it is so, so special. And it's particularly special to me because I understand what went into making it, because I've seen it with my own eyes, and that is such a privilege, I know, but it's, yeah, it's created this deep connection with this wearable trunk. It just has. I just had to run downstairs because the next piece came just after I got back from Paris, and I got all the benefits of the price. This is gorgeous Fendi made to order peekaboo in the large size. I got my peekaboo in this gorgeous, gorgeous olive green colour with rose interior and my name inside. And the beautiful, 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 let me just close it up here, tortoiseshell, perspex and gold hardware. This bag, it is stunning. This bag gets so many compliments. So many people want a bag. I'm still huffing, right? I'm so unfit. So unfit. This bag gets so many compliments from people because so many people want a khaki bag. It is a unique neutral. And yes, there's a lot of khaki around for this autumn-winter collection. Burgundies, khakis, navies, you know, all the old faithfuls. I love this because I designed it. Thank you, Christian, in Fendi Munich. I love having this large bag with the big smile. You guys know, if you've been here a while or if you're just new, for me, the Fendi Peekaboo is all about the smile. So having this slouchy smile just meant the world to me. This is my original Carlito Punkito before the Labubu, and I just saw Erica's Girly World. I'll link it below. She made a reel on Instagram with all of her original Karl Lagerfeld Fendi pieces, which was so cute. Go and check it out. But this bag, it is just, it's the perfect neutral. I love it for work. I love how it falls. I love to carry it on my shoulder, on the crook of my arm. I'll pop it down so I can put some mod shots in. It just makes me so, so happy. To me, this is the most chic of the classic bags. I think it's a genius move by Silvia Venturini Fendi back in 2009. I believe it first walked the runway. It's just brilliant. And seeing the Peekaboo Soft come back, seeing, you know, slouchy bags come back is fabulous. This bag I had ordered back in June 2024. So the fact that I picked a colour that came, I don't know how I did that. And, you know, large bags were on the move. I feel like it wasn't risky at all. And typically a made to order can be quite risky if you do something a bit different. This time it felt really, really safe. I knew what I was getting and yeah, I couldn't wait. So absolute winner for me. Moving into 2025, the year of the snake. Thank you, Meredith. Meredith had one of her fabulous vlog sales and she had been talking about moving this one on through her collectionmas videos. I sent her a note and said, if you move on that Python Fendi first, in the large, look at it, I'm your gal. Let me know. She figured out that she was going to let it go, worked out a price, and I grabbed it. I didn't have anything in Python. Buying Python in Australia is hard because it has to go through the CITES and customs process. So buying something from someone you know that's already in the country for a great price is like the best way to go. This oversized piece is so beautiful. I bought a snake print dress and I have worn them both together. Oh, so good. I loved it. I love snake on snake on snake. Snake shoes. Unbelievable. This bag, I think it's the size. I think it's the size of the bag, but also of the Python print. I think it's the texture for me. It's the fact that you can easily snuggle it under your arm. The shoulder strap is a perfect size and the strap actually works really well on other bags of mine too. I would never have bought this brand new. The fact that it came up when it did from somebody that I knew, as I said, in beautiful condition, via Connor, who has the consignment business Conrad's Closet. It was a lay down misere for me. There was no question about whether this was a good idea, and there still isn't. But as I said, I did fracture my shoulder in January, and so my ability to carry a bag that required clutching, limited. So it hasn't had the wear that it could, but there's still 6 months left of the year. I am confident she will get many days in the sun. Very, very surprisingly, just after I fractured my shoulder, at the beginning of February, I got one of those text messages that people talk about from my Hermes sales associate. advising me that she had a nice surprise waiting for me in the boutique. Well, before I went and had my surgery, literally on the Friday before, was it the Friday before? Was it a week before? Maybe it was a week before. Connor was off to Paris for his 30th birthday, and he was not happy about the fact that I was going to get another Hermes handbag without him being there. So he insisted on me making the appointment so that he could take me as the patient with my fractured shoulder, carry my shopping home, but be there for that experience. And it was most welcomed. It was a really lovely experience to share with him. And it was also great to have a driver and someone to carry my shopping. Anyway, I had asked, I'd recently refined my wish list to a Kelly bag. I wanted a 28, but my sales associate said, would you be open to a 25? And I said, yeah, as long as it's slouchy. It needs to be squishy, delishy leather. Well, I wanted it in a dusty blue. I'd looked at the whole selection of colours. Blue Lin had returned, and it was in some small accessories. I loved the dusty blue. I loved that it looked like worn-in Levi's jeans. And that's what I wanted from my Hermes Kelly, one of the probably most formal bags that you can buy. So I was pretty confident when she messaged me that it was going to be the one. But I was also a bit scared that it wasn't. Anyway, she did not let me down. This is my Kelly 25 in Blue Lin in Swift leather with palladium hardware. And she's an absolute doll. As someone who had a fractured shoulder, I wore this bag that people say and make a big deal of is very difficult to use, with my one arm in a sling, very, very easily. What's in there? Oh, my twilly. Very, very easily. I like it open. I like carrying it by the top handle. I like also carrying it by the shoulder strap on my shoulder. I really quite enjoy it. I took it out a few times actually, and then I've been home for a long time. I was home from work, so I didn't get to wear bags for a long time. I wasn't leaving the house. When I did, I'd pick a bag obviously, but I couldn't drive. I wasn't doing the groceries, I was having them delivered, so there were lots of things that I would usually be doing that I wasn't, which stopped me from wearing my bag so much. I am so happy that I got this bag. I cannot believe that I have an Hermes Birkin and an Hermes Kelly, me who had nothing nice to say about Hermes. I have been very lucky in my relationship journey. I acknowledge that. I know a lot of people do a lot more and work a lot harder and get a lot less. So I appreciate that. I'm not gloating, I'm grateful. And I got exactly what I wanted. And very, very happy with this gorgeous, squishy, delish babe. And finally, after weeks, maybe months of trying to ignore this, but walking past it every other day when I was heading to work on my slow return to work journey, was this Gucci Bamboo Diva, which is the East-West style in a smooth calf leather with a resin and brass bamboo style handle and turn lock. I saw this bag. It was advertised outside of the Gucci boutique where sometimes I park my car, and I was like, what is that? What is that? And once it landed in stores, I think I saw it first on So Much Design with Hannah's shopping vlog, and I will link her channel below as well, in England, in London, and I was like, oh, it's so nice. Then I started doing some videos about my purple handbag collection. I talked about this. I talked about it in relation to some other pieces. There's a few videos where this kept popping up and I'm like, I'm loving it, I'm loving it. Anyway, I went to my local Gucci boutique and they didn't have it, but I talked about it. And so my lovely sales associate went out of her way to order the last one in Australia into store. She got permission from her manager, the store agreed to transfer it, and I made an appointment to go and see it. I was not feeling great, I was pretty low energy, and I just couldn't leave it there. I couldn't leave it there. This is like another showstopper. It was a pretty penny. It was not at the right time. I was tossing up buying Haul Runners or a Gucci handbag, and well, if you haven't seen my last video, go and check that out, how I broke up with my interior designer. I'm kind of glad that I got the Gucci bag because the Haul Runner was never happening. Anyway, go watch that video if you want the download on that. But this is a very special, very unique design. I have only worn it out once so far, but now I am back to work full time. Now I am out and about like a regular human being and I can use both of my arms. This is going to get a whole bunch more love, and even if it doesn't, even if it's a slow burn, I don't care, because it is a perfect part of my wardrobe and my handbag collection. And when the times are right, I will draw on it and I will love every second that I get to carry it. So those bags, wow, there's nothing ordinary about any of them when I think about it. They are pretty crazy. Even the pre-loved pieces were very high-end, top of the park type price ranges, but you know, I happened to pick them up for a great price. I have probably made videos to this end a few times in that I really am not looking for the ordinary anymore. I'm really not. And I think that's got something to do with my appetite for things like wish lists and looking at latest collection drops and things. They don't interest me. I want to go back to the days where I could wander into a boutique and be caught off guard by something magical and beautiful, or be innocently scrolling Instagram and something crazy pops up on a pre-loved or consignment store post. I love that sense of discovery, and I think I've found a new sense of mindful spending when it comes to luxury. I'm still shopping, I'm buying shoes and clothes and things, but bags, and potentially not being able to wear them for several months because of my injury, I just think, wow, I would be so miserable if I couldn't wear my bags to work and all about the place. If the only time I got to wear them was an occasion, that would not make me happy at all. I know how much energy I get from being able to be my full self in all aspects of my life, and I think I know that I'm at a stage in what I have around me that I'm very content, and it takes a fair bit to impress me these days. One thing that is on my agenda though that I would be interested in finding, there was a gorgeous flashback picture of Carrie Bradshaw, and she was carrying a Ferragamo feather, looked like pheasant feathers, clutch bag. And I'm like, I don't have any feathers, and that is glorious. So it's very hard to bring feathers into Australia, for one, so through those customs and CITES things, because they tend to have mites and bits and pieces on them. So finding something special in feathers is next on my list, but I have no idea what it is. It's not necessarily that bag, but it's feathers. And so I'm going to keep an eye out for something special in feathers. I did try on a Scanlon and Theodore little bucket bag in burgundy feathers. I'll pop it over here. The other day we were shopping for a work colleague who had left, and we thought that would be a lovely way to spend our collection on her. Something that she would love but never buy for herself, and it's such a beautiful piece, but it's not quite what I'm looking for in my collection. So I think that's my next kind of special, unique piece that I'm looking for. So yeah, it's been nice to get back into the bag closet and relive some of those really happy moments. Some of them, all of them have been really happy moments. I'm very grateful for what I have. I treasure them. I love to wear them. To me, that's where most of the fun lies. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Which of those 6 bags has been your favourite and why? And what's next on your wish list? What's unique and different and calling on you that you're just waiting to discover at some stage? Hit me up in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd love to see you back for my next video. Until then.